One category of jihadists is among those who are called disaffected youth. That means those people who belong to either poor suburbs in France, poor inner cities in Great Britain, or to some districts that are either poor or in a way not in the main trend of the life of the city. And they feel they are rejected, humiliated, denied real citizenship, and in that respect they have a kind of hatred towards society. This type of youth is not democratically minded. Democracy is nothing but a kind of rule of the corrupt elites who exploit the people and tell them lies without any kind of moral background. There's a second type of person. They are middle-class jihadists. They are a minority in Europe. For those who belong to the middle classes, live in a kind of utopia-less democracy. There is no more utopia. There is no more ideal. And socialism, communism, and I would say republicanism, all are in a way dead. So that there is a kind of fatigue, deep tiredness toward democracy. They don't believe anymore in it, and they believe that, whatever the outcome of the elections, they will have no impact on their real life. And this type of jihadist becomes, in a way, extremist, not because of the hatred of society, but because of some kind of boredom, lack of ideas, lack of any kind of renewed social, togetherness. Each one is isolated, each one is in a way separated from the others. Nothing ties people together. And in that respect, their view is that at least jihadism brings something new. And that's excitement, feeling that you can break with the past, you can have some kind of new, renewed social relationship, and a kind of new utopia. That's what I call neo-ummah. Ummah means, a Muslim community in a traditional Muslim sense. So they believe in a kind of neo-ummah that will bring peace, that will bring abundance, that will bring some kind of social harmony and meaning to social life. There's another group of people, and these are adolescents and post-adolescents who become jihadists, and there are perhaps around 15 to 20% of those who went to Syria. And these adolescents and post-adolescents have a kind of affective view of life. For them, the political system doesn't mean anything. What is meaningful for them is the fact that they are in a situation of minority. They want to become adults. And in order to achieve this adulthood, they are ready, to go into the extremes of violence. That's why, for instance, some of them, leave, the country, France, Great Britain, Germany, Holland, and so on, and go to Syria. And now they are prevented from going because of the measures, administrative measures, taken by the European governments. For the young adolescents, the reason why they don't think in terms of politics is, first of all, because they are too young, between the ages of 12 and 17. And second, for them, the major problem is to become adults. And for them to go to Syria means a kind of rite of passage. Anthropologists have this rite of passage. That means through some kind of hardship, you become adult. We have converts who go from 10%, for instance, in Belgium, to around 22% in France. So that the rate of converts changes from one society to the other. But what we can see is that converts have become a kind of sizable minority among those people who have gone to Syria, who intend to go to Syria. For them, what's important is religion. They identify, as new zealots to religion. And since democracy means secularization, means, a kind of distance towards religion, they reject it. So that we have many cases deadly set against, I would say, the democratic system. Those who are bored with it, who would like to just set it aside, those who are deadly against it out of hatred, and they believe in a way through an ideology that is of Daesh, that means Islamic, the so-called Islamic State, but also Al-Qaeda, that democracy means idolatry, means the idolatry of the people, whereas Islam for them means believing in God, so that all the major rules are set in the Holy Quran for them. So they reject democracy as a kind of idolatry. Of course, this has been rejected by many other Muslim reformists and so on, so that this ideology is not Islam, is a kind of extremist version of Islam. But anyhow, for them, there is a kind of rejection of democracy and hatred towards democracy in the name of a radicalized version of Islam. We see that this whole European jihadism has a kind of anti-democratic meaning, but for each category, anti-democracy has, anthropologically speaking, a specific meaning. And one cannot say that all of them are the same. The rejection by hatred of those young, disaffected youth is different from the rejection of the adolescents and different from that of women or middle class or converts.